afternoon. I lost my voice, so Miss Garson's going to do it.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
Okay, thank you for being here. So just identify yourselves for the record and then proceed. That was good, though.
Yeah, did I ask her about that?
I almost bought it.
Good afternoon. Lincoln Ashida Corporation Counsel. Catherine Garson, the Assistant Corporation Counsel, is present as well. Thank you very much, members of the Finance Committee, for holding these hearings concerning the upcoming budget and the specific program objectives for the respective departments. I don't, unlike previous years, I don't have a PowerPoint this year. Last year, I think, with new council members coming on board, it was important to orient and acquaint council members with the operations of our department, but I trust that through the interaction over the past year and a half that we've all come to know you very well, and you know, we appreciate the support that this council has given us, not only in budgetary matters, but especially when we come before you. You know, suffice it to say that there are times when the council as a whole or members don't agree with what we say or our opinions or position, and that's cool. You know, that's fine. That's the American way. That's the way the system works. But what I do appreciate is two things. Number one is that we can talk about that we can have an active, open, productive discussion, airing our differences, so that everybody has to can say their piece. And secondly, what I really appreciate is the fact that at the end of the day, all 9 of you accept the process, accept the our charter, accept our system of democracy, where this body, when it makes a collective decision, that is the position of the county. So with respect to our operations, you know, one thing I heard a couple times over the last couple of days is department heads come in here and say our department employees are the hardest working, and I think everybody feels that way. And one thing that I thought about when I said that, when I heard that, was in addition to working hard, I think it's important to work smart. And one of the things that we're most proud of is, you know, when my friend Mitch Roth was up here this morning, he talked about having, what, 107 employees, 30-something deputy prosecuting attorneys. When I started with the county on November 5th, 1987, there were an equal number of corporation counsels and prosecuting attorneys, and that number was 13. Today, prosecutors are up to 33. We're up to 16, including myself. So one of the things that, and you know, I'm not drawing a comparison because our work is dramatically different, but I think one of the things that historically has been something that we have privately been very proud of in our office is our ability to work smart, do well with what we have, not complain, work humble, work effectively, work behind the scenes. For fiscal year 2012-13, the most recent year where comprehensive numbers were available, we had over 2,100 requests for legal assistance. Now, 2,100 represents documents going back and forth. This is not the situation where Zendo Kern or Brenda Ford or Val Poindexter picks up the cell phone and says, "Hey, Lincoln, you got a minute?" You know, by the way, I'm used to the you know, Jay Yoshimoto. You gotta love Jay, the most honorable. "Hey, Link, is this a bad time?" As if I said no, he's gonna say too bad. Of course, Miss Ford, when she calls, yeah, always pick, when I see that caller ID, pick up the phone. If not, she gonna call back, right? But it's kind of funny because I all kind of know your telephone personality, so it doesn't even, the 2,100 doesn't even count that, okay? That's what we call the advice and counsel. So, you know, so that number is significant. Litigation, our other major division, as you saw, 17, for 2012-13, 17 cases were disposed of. Now, that's about an average, because we dispose, when I say dispose, civil litigation cases, unlike criminal cases, take a significant amount of time to process because there is no speedy trial right. That's the most significant reason why criminal cases are pushed to the top of the stack in the judiciary. When we dispose of average of about 15 to 18 cases a year, that's about average. So 2012-13, 17 cases disposed of, in other words, closed. Those were obviously lawsuits filed years earlier. 11 were outright dismissed, which meant county no liability. Of the other 6, they settled for a total of $146,000. Potential exposure, $2.4 million. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea of, a lot of times, guys, you 9 know this more than anybody else on the planet. When we talk about these cases, you're up there, you tell me, Lincoln, why not? How come? How long is this going to go on? Why can't we bring closure to it? Like fine wine, sometimes a delay really benefits the defense in these cases. I've learned that because I've both practiced law as a trial lawyer, both on the prosecution plaintiff side and now on the defense side. And I can tell you, in virtually all circumstances, delays favor the defense. Okay, so I think Mr. Yoshimoto, Ms. Willie, as attorneys would, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I think you would generally agree with that notion. Okay. So again, that is a very small snapshot of where we are. Budgetary-wise, if you look, we have gone down in funding for virtually every category, OCE, with the exception, of course, salary and wages, and that is not salary and wages for the attorneys. Those are salary and wages for our civil service employees as a result of collective bargaining increases. But in every other category, we have basically gone down. So because you have no further questions, I really appreciate your time this afternoon. Have a good, fun time with Police Department. Thank you very much.
Tell them that Warren already tried it.
Yeah, Warren did try that already. It failed. Councilmember Kern.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Ashida, for that brief presentation. It's good to see you guys fine-tuning the budget and trimming, and it's great to see that you're still going to be able to make it work. I just want to say I'm grateful to your guys, to your office, to your staff. It's always easy to get a hold of you guys, easy to get opinions from you guys, easy to get legal advice, and you guys are always there to support us, and it's great. And I appreciate that it's always it's just sound legal advice, in my opinion. It's not biased. It's not to benefit me or anybody else. It's just, here's what it is from a legal perspective, and make the decision that you need to make. And I just think there's so much value in that. And the team that you have is great. Kathy's always a pleasure to work with, and just want to say thank you, and thank you for making your guys' budget easy to look at.
Councilmember Iligan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, Lincoln. I noticed that you didn't mention my name about when I call. I normally try to call Kathy Garson. That's why I trust her. Mr. Ashida, I just gotta say thank you for your budget. And I honestly, when I was looking through it, I really have no question. I just want to say I appreciate you getting our back, and we really need your legal opinion because I'm not a lawyer and I don't have the expertise that you have and your department has. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Eoff.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. And I wanted to say thank you, too, to both of you, Ms. Garson and Mr. Ashida, for always being willing to help my staff and myself when we have questions that maybe not even needing a legal opinion, but just a kind of a common sense understanding of what we need to be thinking in certain situations. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that and for your patience with us. And I wanted to especially thank you. I was reading reminded me of the work and the effort that you put into helping us negotiate and fulfill a good faith agreement for Kawana-Iki Beach Park, because it was difficult, and there was a lot of new kind of legal problems that arose trying to figure out how to do something that was innovative and never been done before in the County of Hawaii. So we have a beach park that's managed and monitored in a three-way partnership between the county, the community, and the landowners or homeowners. And there's lands that are both public and private, but intersect and had to have special, I think they're grants of easement or whatever conditions. So I just wanted to thank you, because I know it, and I wasn't impatient, I don't think, but everybody was just like hoping for the positive outcome after all the years that went into getting that solidified, but then actually implementing it was another story, and I understood that, there was complicated, and I just wanted to thank you for seeing that through and making it work. It seems like right now it's become a very positive relationship, and maybe we can do more of the same in the future now that we've kind of worked that out. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kanuha.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also, I wanted to say this before I get back to my office, because Jane would kill me if I didn't say you've been a tremendous help to myself and my staff. A lot of hard work has gone into a lot of different opinions with the policy that we try to write here and there. So just wanted to say a big mahalo to you and your team for the help. Just real quick, I just wanted to go over the. Oh, never mind. That can wait till later. But I'll just yield it this time and just say a big mahalo. There's nothing I really need to go into in the budget. Just again, continuing to do more with less is something that everybody is facing with. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other members? Councilmember Yoshimoto.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, Lincoln. Hi, Kathy. How's the move to the back to the lagoon? Just curious.
We're nice to be back home.
Is everything
nice
all
to be back home? Yes.
Well,
not all, but we're getting there.
All the expenses paid for. I mean, is there anything else that we can do to help?
No, I think, Public Works was excellent in assisting us with that.
Okay, I know that must have been quite a move, so I was just curious because I haven't.
Come by and take a look.
Okay, Mr. Ashida, I want to thank you for your leadership in the office. You've been Corporation Counsel for more years than I can count. You provided stability, I think leadership. I think the office has always been helpful, informative to help us. You should be commended. One of the things I remember, when we first started, Lincoln, was the orientation that happened. And I appreciated that because when I first started 8 years ago, it was new to me as it is to every new sitting council member. But I thought that was a great opportunity to meet, to talk, to learn. And as we all sit here, I think we can all say that we learn new things every single day. And I think our office has been instrumental in helping us along the way because many times we don't know the answer, but we want to find the answer. And I think that was one of your mottos about we are the answer. I think is that right, Mr. Ashida? That's right. Yes. So those things they resonate with us, and I just want to say we express our appreciation to your leadership, to Kathy and the entire staff. This is my last budget session, and I don't want to get all sentimental, but it has been a pleasure working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members? Councilmember Willie.
Hi. A couple of questions that I have. One that I brought up to Public Works yesterday concerned dedicated roads. And I just say sort of somewhat my frustration and particularly watching what's happened with the Parker Ranch Connector Road, where, agreement was by 2010, and then it was to be turned over to the county, and we're now, going on 4 years later, and I ask about it, and well, they're switching a new board, and this is happening, and now the most recent is that, they thought the county was supposed to be dealing with it and dealing with some of the issues with state land, and, I'm not... there isn't anything specific where I think should be done, but somehow I don't feel that it's working. I mean, how do we, try to work on making the system work better? I mean, I have many people in the community saying, well, why don't we change the speed limit? I don't know whether it's 25 up to at least 30 something. Well, we can't do any of that. Why don't we do this? We can't do any of this until it's in county hands. And just sort of who's supposed to be watching, for Parker Ranch now to say, oh, I thought we were waiting for you. And then I'm going to give you one other example. And I'm not saying this is on you all, but you're sort of the point person. Where does it get taken care of? Back, I don't know, whenever it was, I managed to get Parker Ranch to agree to give 3 additional acres easement at no cost to the county. Okay, this is for the greenways path, so that they could not have to put a fence right up against a residential area. Everything's all pretty much written up, right? And I'm working, I think it was with Renee and Sean and Bobby Command and Bob Fitzgerald, and I'm going, it still has to be accepted by the council. So the fence is there, nothing like that. But in my mind, I sort of wonder, well, if something happened to Margaret, would it still, whenever it happened, have those 3 words at no cost rather than, who knows? So we're now years, and I sort of remind Bobby Command or mention it to Wally. And it's just sort of, I'm not always that organized, and I'm not expecting everything to, but just where does it follow? Have we taken care of this one? Have we taken care of those little roads and transfers of the dotting of the I? And those were 2 things that I, as a private citizen, spent many years working to accomplish on that road, and those 2 never got the I's dotted. And then the third one I worked on was the the crosswalk in front of Parker School. And that was big negotiation and court settlement and all of that. And then after that happened and we settled and this would be done, it's like nothing happens. We're now, 3 years. So I'm just, if there's some additional mechanism, and maybe it's just things Margaret touched, well, we don't want to get near Margaret, but, and now, like I asked Warren about it, and now we're agreed he wants to do flashlights and then do a bumper thing in a different place. But if I wasn't, I've got all these legal documents, here's the, Steve Lim at no cost, the Parker Ranch settlement, which Joe was involved in, is still, and Parker School keeps saying, Margaret, we have the money we agreed to pay, but nobody will accept our check. So I just, while you're sitting here, if I just pin you down and, ask, I don't know if you want to comment, but I'm really just asking on those that there's a way to make them happen and get those little written things in here and check those boxes.
Well, Councilman Willie, I don't want to discuss the specific, the specific issues that you brought up. So you can contact our office and we can work on those. What our office does for dedication is when someone sends in a dedication document, we are the point person, and we'll send it around to all of the different departments. It's part of your code. It's a requirement that all of the different departments sign off on it. And you'd be surprised that really there are a variety of issues. We have one dedication deed in our office for a road that's not built yet, and so people submit things and we're like, okay, well, we're not going to accept that. We have some of those, and yes, they are really old, but we're not going to accept it until everything's done on the developer side. So yes, so there are those problems too, where something might not be right, and one department's pointed it out or the others. But we have made actually significant progress with our dedications. We got Ali'i, what is that? It was Ali'i Heights done finally. Yay! So we're working on.
And I do want to thank. Yeah, hopefully we won't get it, defend it here and deal with that, but for helping me in terms of the drafting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Ilagan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just realized I felt that what I had to say was not as effective as mentioning what you really did. Reading at your highlights, there was 6 major lawsuits were settled for a total of $146,000. The total amount demanded for these 17 cases was $2,436,663. That's amazing how much money we as a county you saved us from. And another thing I also wanted to mention, and what I just forgot, was that your training is outstanding. 68 training sessions and a total of 966 county employees were trained. And I was one of those employees where I learned to do parliamentary procedures because of your training. And I know from my staff that they learned a lot from going to your trainings. So I want to continue encouraging you to continue those trainings because they're very helpful. So I just want to say where you shine for me is giving me the ability to learn more about the county and how to do my job effectively. So thank you.
Can I respond to that, Madam Chair?
Sure, thank you.
You know, really a lot of the credit goes to, first of all, big bulk of the training is laserfish training that Martha Rodilis spearheads, so she should be recognized and commended for that, and I know you all know that, okay? You all know that. But another big part of the commendation should go to the other departments, because what we've done in recent years is we've partnered with them in offering training. Before, it just used to be boring lawyers up there, but now, for example, we train with Jeff Dansdale. Joe back there trains with Terry Spinola Campbell, and we found that when we pair up and team up and train like that, you know, we're sort of spreading it throughout the county. So wanted to give a shout out to the other departments that have been so gracious in helping us out. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'd just like to say thank you for being accessible to my staff and to me as well. I mean, your entire staff, including Martha back there. You know, thank you for being patient with us, and we're always, you know, either emailing or calling or possibly even knocking at your door. And Lincoln, I just want to say thank you so much for being accessible to me when I needed you at community meetings, and not being able to, you know, give the community explanation on the legal aspects of what the meeting is, and you were there for me. So I just want to say a big mahalo for that. I truly, really, really appreciate that. So with that being said, if any of our council members have any other questions for you, we will contact you directly. So thank you for coming. Do we want to just